Hi, welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton here down at Latham Golf Academy. In this video we're going to look at driver loft and maybe the importance of getting the right loft of driver in your hands. Now, through fitting sessions that we do obviously down here at the Academy, we obviously look at different lofts to try and work in the correct launch angle for that particular player. So there's obviously a lot of different influences that would change why we would maybe put a different loft in a player's hands. So obviously the swing speed, obviously the angle of attack, the dynamic loft that they actually deliver at impact, depending on the swing path and angle of attack and the way they deliver that club to the golf ball, will really dictate on what sort of loft we need to put in their hands. Now for me personally, I deliver the club about 2 to 3 degrees on the way up, so I don't have issues delivering sort of some dynamic loft here. But what I'm maybe going to do today is hit some shots with a 9.5. I've got both M2 heads here. I've got a 9.5 degree and a 12 degree. I've got the same shaft here that I'm going to put in both of these. So exactly the same shaft, so we're not changing that to change this launch or anything. But we're going to hit 9.5 against a 12. And maybe just have a look at some numbers on GC2 and see how maybe launch changes, maybe how spin number changes, because that's another factor that we use to maybe help to change a player's spin number. So say for instance I've got somebody who's maybe launching it quite low and spinning it low, then they may need some more loft, which is obviously going to help to increase the launch, and also with more loft we get more spin. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some numbers and see the differences between a 9.5 and 12 degree, and maybe give you guys a bit of an idea of, or maybe highlight to you guys the real importance of going out there and getting fitted for a golf club. So we're going to start with the 9.5 degree loft first. Okay, so we're going to hit a batch of shots with this, and then we'll switch over to the 12 degree. Okay, so we'll give this first one a hit. Okay, so not a bad sort of opening shot there. It's quite sort of neutral. Obviously seeing quite a penetrating flight there. 9.5 degrees, more the loft that would suit my particular delivery anyway. Okay, I hit that really well there. Very nice ball flight there, great strike. It's edging up to the 295 mark there. Yeah, launched around about 11 degrees. So, okay, so let's just switch the heads here. I'm going to put the 12 degree here, a couple of shots with that, and then we'll check some numbers out. Right, okay, so we've now got the 12 degree head on here, same shaft as before, obviously 12 degree. Now, straight away as I put that down there, I'm seeing more loft. It's a big change of look there. Seeing a lot more of the club face there. Obviously, as we go into the 12 degree here, let's get this first one hit. Yeah, okay, so straight away there I'm seeing a higher sort of ball flight. Looks like it goes up and sort of like climbs a little bit. So I'm guessing that's where I'm going to see a little bit more spin. We'll look at some spin numbers a little bit more detail in a bit. But to me that looks like it's spinning more, launching high and just sort of climbs and sort of stalls a little bit mid-air, if that makes sense. So then when it gets like a peak of its flight, it'll just sort of drop more. Okay, and obviously the technology nowadays is more around this sort of high launch and sort of low spin to try and get more of that rainbow sort of flight to really try and maximise your distance. Okay, that was a good strike. Again, seeing that higher ball flight. Just seems to be turning these a little bit more left on that particular shot. Anyway, yeah, that carried out 256. So we've seen a drop off here of distance here in these particular shots. But let's go and have a look at some numbers between those two lofts, 9.5 against 12, and let's see if there's any differences. Okay, so let's have a look at these two batch of numbers here. So 9.5 against 12 here. So just dropped a little bit of club head speed. Didn't really feel that, to be honest. Ball speed has dropped a little bit more there. First one didn't quite get as good a strike, but again, the more loft you produce or more loft you deliver, the less speed you'll get. So obviously the straighter the face club, the more ball speed you get, so that's going to take account of a bit of drop off there. Launch, you can see, has changed about 2.5 degrees on average there, slightly higher obviously with the 12 degree as we'd expect, and we can see that spin number's gone up there, just under 3,000 against just under 2,400. So increases of spin, it's launched higher, it's increase of spin there, so peaking out 7 yards higher on average there, and you can see the descent angle now as it comes into land much steeper, coming at 42 degrees as opposed to 36. So mid 30s is sort of the optimum sort of descent angle as the ball comes into land to try and maximize your sort of roll when it hits the ground. So 272 carry against 252, so 20 yards difference there on average. Right, so 9.5 against 12 there. So we obviously can see some big differences there, as we would expect. You know, there's a big change of loft there. But maybe just give you guys a little bit of an insight as to maybe how it would change. But obviously you've got to look at, you know, my delivery. My delivery could be very different to your delivery, to the next person, to the next person. So as I say, I deliver on the way up. So, you know, generally that 9.5, 9 degrees sort of loft is in the right sort of area for me, depending on the head, you know, makeup of the head. Depends obviously a little bit of shaft as well, but I'm around that sort of 9 sort of mark. But as I say, I get a lot of clients through fitting processes here where they maybe hit down on it, they produce a little bit less loft. Strike pattern, you've got to weigh into the equation a little bit as well. And, you know, that may change that you need a lot more loft. And we are sort of seeing that more in fittings. We are going to more loft here, especially now with the introduction of these more low spinning drivers. So if anybody gets into this scenario where they launch it a little bit low and the low spin, the ball then just drops out the sky. They suffer massively on the carry distance. So that's then when you need the loft. Get the launch up, get the spin up, get the ball in the air, keep it in the air, you know, to try and maximise the carry for that type of golfer. For me, as I say, I hit up, I deliver a bit of loft. I don't need that sort of help. So this is where the lower sort of loft here would help me out a little bit more, to try and keep my spin down, to try and keep the ball more on a flatter sort of flight here, which is going to maximise my sort of distance. Okay, interesting video there. Again, it just goes to show the importance of go and get fit. Please don't be buying golf clubs off the shelf or online where you just physically can't get them in your hands, you can't hit it. It's just an absolute gamble. So you've got to come in, you know, try some different brands, try some different shafts, different lofts on a launch monitor where you can measure it, you know, and we can, you know, really sort of fine tune it into your delivery. Okay, thanks very much for watching, guys. Do appreciate you watching the videos. As always, my social media platforms are down in the description below, so do hook up, give us a follow, let's stay in contact, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.